What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey SHAKESQUAD coming to you guys with a video right now. So I want to go over Jalen Hurts, and I haven't talked about Jalen Hurts specifically. Maybe we've talked about him during the draft, and we always talk about him every week. But I'm saying as to just a quarterback aspect and just talking about that position in general. So I'll try not to make this video as long as it could be, but they kind of go over Jalen Hurts and you know what, how he was thrown to the fire in 2020 when Carson Wentz was just not playing well, and drafted Jalen Hurts a year prior, and he wasn't supposed to be the starting quarterback here. I mean, that I do know, and he was supposed to be the backup quarterback, and and maybe he was a blessing in disguise for us. Okay, you guys have no idea how badly I want this to work out. The future really depends on this. And I'm not saying that the Eagles, if they have to go after another quarterback after this year, that, we're done for. It's going to hurt our draft capital next year because you have 2 first-round picks and a second. And, if this team plays well, it depends how we play good. And look, with all the weapons that Jalen Hurts has, there's really no excuse. And then we say that a million times. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, you have Quez Watkins, a good running back core if Miles stays healthy as well. And, I think the best offensive line in football with the depth behind it. That's why it's so great. You have a lot going for you right now. When I question Jalen Hurts, I don't question his mentality. I don't question his effort because I think we get 100% out of him. Because, look, at the end of the day, it's not his fault that he was traded here. It's not his fault. He can only take us as far as his skill set will take us. Okay? We need him to be more of a pocket quarterback, a guy that's going to go through his progressions and, that is going to be accurate. And you can't, he could teach himself accuracy, and he's only going to get better if he puts the work in. And I think he did, working with Tom House and Quincy Avery and some of these other guys, throwing with Tom Brady and some of these other things that have happened this offseason, okay? This team is building a culture, okay? And Nick Sirianni started out when he became the head coach last year. And I think the rest of these guys, I think Hurts gravitates these players towards him in a lot of ways. And I think it's becoming a brotherhood more than anything, and whatever new pieces that come here. Look, Jalen Hurts has the perfect situation around him between not just the running backs and the offensive line that he has, but he's played with Devontae Smith at Alabama. He's played, he's best friends with A.J. Brown, and not knowing that he's been actually working out with him every offseason since he's been here. It's even a greater thing because they're going to have that connection. You don't have to worry about bringing in a new receiver, and he's acclimated to the quarterback, and they have to kind of synchronize with each other. And I think with AJ Brown, you already have that. Brian Johnson is his head is the quarterback coach. I mean, there's so many great things around him that is in connection to him, and the Eagles have done a fantastic job building around Jalen Hurts. I mean, this is going to be one of the most exciting off seasons. This has been one of the most exciting off seasons, and going to the regular season, it's going to be even more exciting. I mean, this is the beginning of a lot of great things if Hurts really does well. Okay, I mean, because it's possible that this defense might be. What if this defense is a top 5 defense this year? And there's defenses that carry their quarterbacks throughout the season. And that could happen. As much as I want Jalen Hurts to be the franchise quarterback, there's a couple things he has to do. I think one is winning the NFC East, and 2, I think they have to win a playoff game this year. I think those are 2 things. I know we can go over statistics. Do I really think he's going to throw for 4,000 yards? No, because, he's got that, he makes the run game what it is. They were the number 1 rushing team last year. And with Jalen Hurts makes the run game work because, the defenses have to respect him with the ball in his hands. The read options, the RPOs. I mean, very good at running with the football in his hands. I just don't want them to do it as much and make this team one-dimensional, because I felt like a lot of defenses made this team one-dimensional when we just kept running with Jalen Hurts. He would do a QB draw. He would just run to the left or the right with the football in his hands. He always rolls out to the right on passing. I mean, throwing opposite side of your shoulder. I mean, throwing in the opposite direction when you're moving in the opposite direction, or whatever you could call it. I think he's had issues with, it's just overthrowing, underthrowing. I mean, there's been a lot of times where these receivers have been open. I still think Quez would have been a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Devontae Smith, what would have probably done more than, would have done 1,100 yards last year. We just didn't have enough. I felt like we threw to the tight ends way too much last year. I mean, running the ball was fantastic, but no defenses really respected us. I mean, I have to see Jalen Hurts win with his arm. Teams are going and defenses are going to pressure him and make him throw the ball. And that's what it's going to be, and that's what's going to happen. I've been on the fence about Jalen Hurts, at least with Jalen Hurts. You talk about Carson Wentz, talk about Jalen Hurts, and when Carson Wentz left, it left a bad taste in my mouth how he treated the fans as a person. And, you got Jalen Hurts in there that, he's doing as much as he possibly can. So at the end of the day, like, I'm never going to say, like, this guy is trash or whatever the case may be. The guy is going to pull the guy is going to do whatever he possibly can to win football games. Okay. This was a guy I wasn't supposed to start, and I understand that. I think Nick has, even Andy Reid, the other day, mentioned, had high praise for Jalen Hurts, and I think he thinks that Nick Sirianni is going to put him in the right direction, and it sees really good things from him. You know what I mean? So, I think it just comes down to the eye test. It comes down to progression, and we'll see it week to week. The first game is always a toss-up type game. I mean, you're facing some good opponents this year. I'm expecting Jalen Hurts to have good games. I mean, there was games last year that they could have won. I mean, there was, you had the Chargers, you had, I think KC they could have beat. I mean, but that defense, was a whole nother aspect. So you have to put in Jalen Hurts, what he does with this offense, and you have to mix in how many touchdowns is this defense giving up, and how much, is Jonathan Gannon going to improve with this defense? That's going to help the offense out. You know what I mean? I think that comes hand in hand, because at the end of the day, if the defense is giving up touchdown, play after play, and, the offense just can't, catch up because the defense is giving away way too many yards, it's really going to not be Jalen Hurts' fault at the end of the day. But I think hot seat wise, and I'm not saying that Nick Sirianni is going to get fired, but he's got the leash on Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator goes to a game. This is what Nick said last year. Okay, the offensive coordinator goes to a game. When he goes into the first series, he already has dialed up plays ready to go for that first series. Now, if things don't work, Nick Sirianni goes in there to Shane, and, he kind of, fixes, the matchups, or he moves guys around or whatever. I mean, there's really no excuse to, this team should win the division easily. I mean, I've never felt so comfortable, and I know that we might hit some bumps and bruises on the way. Maybe the Eagles will I said last year the Eagles are going to make a lot of mistakes. You have a rookie head coach. There was way too many new pieces since this team has gotten a lot younger last year, and I knew they were going to make a lot of mistakes, and, it showed. It's not like you had a veteran head coach with a still kind of a rookie quarterback, because really Jalen Hurts only played a year and a half of football as of right now. He got thrown to the fire for 4 to 5 games in 2020. Then last year, I didn't really criticize Jalen Hurts too much in early last year, just because he was still a rookie. I mean, he still didn't play a whole year yet, until like at the end of the season, I said, okay, he needs to start progressing a little bit. And I thought, he got better at the end of 2021, but Jalen Hurts still has his flaws. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to think about a quarterback next year. I don't want to think about trying to acquire somebody else and giving away all these picks. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's a crappy situation for Hurts, because, he's only played a year and a half of football. That's it in 3 years, 2 years. But I'm saying this right. He hasn't had 2 full seasons yet. So when you go into this year, the Eagles have put as much around him as possible. And look, I mean, there's teams that put, certain positions around these quarterbacks. And I think Eagles not only have put stars, but have put great depth between the offensive line, between the running backs. I think you brought in some familiar faces back. You brought in Boston Scott. You have Miles Sanders that needs to stay healthy. This run game, I feel like Miles Sanders is going to have 1,000 yards this year. I feel like Jalen Hurts they have to expand the playbook. Okay, read options, RPOs, it's just not going to work. And I'm not saying they can't do those things, but be more creative with this offense. Be more creative and just do some play action. You got to keep the defense on their toes. I mean, you really have to. And I think you will with A.J. Brown and having Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert should have a prime year. I mean, I can have Dallas Goedert even having 800 to 900 yards, because, it's like, who are you going to cover? I mean, in this offense, but it's not only just trying to who you're going to cover between Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Quez Watkins, but you have to defend Jalen Hurts with his legs as well. So there's a good amount of pluses going into this year. And Eagles fans are hyped up, and I don't blame anybody for being hyped up. And there's going to be those fans that are going to be negative. They're trying to put you down for, oh, Jalen Hurts isn't going to do anything. Look, I'm not big on Jalen Hurts, but I'm going to support him 300%. I'm going to support him, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else that I want more than for Jalen Hurts to be the starting quarterback to this team because, for the future, because at the end of the day, like, if Jalen Hurts works out for this team, the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders next. If he lives beyond expectations and plays at a higher level, like, I'm not talking 10% better. I'm talking like, I'm saying he's 40 to 45% better, and he looks, holy crap, he looks good. And, there's a good distribution of the ball, and a run game is going well. And, you're scoring, 25 to 30 points a game. I mean, 30 points a game, your offense is going to look really good. But obviously, you have to look at the other side, like I said earlier in this video, and about the defense and how much they're giving up every single series. And, it's not fair for Jalen Hurts. He's got to catch up every single time if this defense can't make a stop. So hopefully Jonathan Gann, like I said, has a big year with this hybrid 4-3, 3-4, 5-2 disguising coverage type scheme that they're putting up for Jalen Hurts. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if Hurts does not work out, you go for a quarterback next year, you're going to waste all your picks. It's not like wasting your picks, but these are picks that you could have kept if Jalen Hurts played to the high standard of, I pray to God because it's going to make things a lot easier. And with Jalen Hurts here, he's already got relationships. He's already got the connections with some of these guys, the synchronization with some of these guys, on the field, which is a great thing. You go for another quarterback next year. The only good thing about going after a new quarterback next year, if Hurts doesn't work out, is that this quarterback that we get next year is going to, he's going to inherit a really good offense around him. There's no building around the quarterback anymore. I mean, you could still make a lot of moves until he progresses to be that franchise guy in a few years on a new contract. Inheriting a great offense, like we have an offense set up for another quarterback if if someone comes in the room next year. But, it's going to be, might be a little bit longer to contend. It might take us another 2 to 3 years after next year to compete because, it's unfortunate because, Devontae Smith contract's going to be up in a few years. I mean, these contracts are going to start to expire, and then the Eagles are going to have to make some big decisions. So you have a window right now to where if Hurts could go live beyond expectations this year, man, you're going to be in a good setup for next year. You're going to look really good, and you're going to look really dangerous. And I think this team could turn to, I'm not going to say a dynasty, but this team could turn to a very successful team for a long time if you keep what you have in here. And really the next step to Howie Roseman after drafting these players is seeing them produce and putting these players in position to win football games in good positions, not setting these players up to fail. Jonathan Gannon, same thing on defense. I mean, you're setting these players up for success. You're not going to put these players in a bad position. I mean, really, at the end of the day, what Gannon has from this year to last year is a total just 180. I mean, total 180 for what he has from each position. I thought maybe in free agency, we had a very underwhelming free agency. Didn't expect for them to go more defense than offense. I thought they would have got that veteran receiver, which we could have had Calvin Ridley, but things happen for a reason, guys, and it always happens for a reason. So I like Jalen Hurts, his mentality, his effort, and I think he really he gels this team together. He has a lot of connections, and I want nothing more than success for him. But I'm going to criticize him next year. It's going to happen. When I criticize him, it doesn't mean I hate him. It doesn't mean I dislike him. It means I know he could play better. That's why I criticize. If you criticize a player, and some people take the credit, you criticize a player and they think like all you want to do is just hate on the guy. It's not the truth. I think the guy would play better, and that's just how it goes with me, So other than that, that's pretty much it. So we've been over 14 minutes already with this video, but Jalen Hurts is I will be so emotional if this guy just man, if he could just pull it off this year. And, you have rival fans that come, oh, Jalen Hurts is nothing. But, I mean, you guys are people are acting like we don't know what we're dealing with Jalen Hurts right now. Like, they think it's like one big freaking surprise that, oh, well, obviously, yes, this is the tryout pretty much. This is the prove-it year of Jalen Hurts' career. I mean, especially for this team, for a big contract. We obviously know that. I mean, it's going to be extension time at the end of this year. Now, is Jalen Hurts going to get paid $45 million a year? I have no idea. What I can see Hurts doing, even if he plays well, is that, he might settle for less money to help the Eagles and help the team. And he might be that type of guy. I don't know. I don't see him being some ruthless guy that wants more paid than anybody else in the league. I just don't see it. But hey, you never know. I mean, the true colors will show, and I really can't blame him. I mean, rookies want to get paid a lot of money. This is how they secure their families, their future. They secure themselves as financially. This is how they make their money. That first contract, that second contract is the big contract that they want to get. A lot of money on a top tier level. And I don't blame any players that want it. It is what it is. But Jalen Hurts I feel good. Do I feel worried? No. Do I think he'll make some mistakes this year? Probably, maybe, a little bit. I think he'll make a mistake. Every quarterback makes mistakes. But I think he can lead this team to a very far spot. I mean, there's a lot of NFL analysts out there that think that we're going to go to the Super Bowl, or they're going to think we're going to go to the NFC East, the NFC Championship game, or not the NFC East, sorry, and win this division. And look, to me, as far as I want it to go right now, is I think this division's wide open. I feel like the Eagles have, if Jalen Hurts plays to perfection or plays above average than what he did last year and shows a big jump, they win the East and they get to a playoff game and win a playoff game. I feel that they could do it. As far as it goes for me, because I think that's a good step in the right direction. I think that will earn Jalen Hurts a big-time contract, and that's going to be a big thing after this year. After the season ends this year, we're going to be questioning ourselves in a good way or a bad way. Is Jalen Hurts going to get paid? Do they think he could take this team to the next level? But I think because of all the moves they made in 2022 for this season, this offseason, there's really no excuse for what he has. I mean, last year, I totally agree. He didn't have much. I totally agree with everything. I'm like, if they keep this wide receiver core the way it is, when I saw Zach Pascal was the only signing for a while, I was like getting a little worried. Like, is that the veteran guy they wanted here? Obviously, not getting Calvert. That is not. They pretty much get Sirianni's pet from Indianapolis. That's going to be a good inside big receiver, which I do like. But I want this kid as such a man. If this kid just had if he can get this passing game right with this kid's attitude just together, you're going to have a dangerous weapon for you. And look, I root for this kid every single day. I pray for him. I'm going to pray for him before every game this year. It's going to be exciting. So other than that, guys, pretty much it. I just want to rant about Jalen Hurts. Just my perspective of the whole situation, because you guys haven't really heard me talk about Jalen Hurts for this long. I'm rooting for this kid. I really am. But in the back of my head, I'm saying we have picks next year, and this could be a failure too. But I'm rooting for him, and I pray to God that he works out. It's going to make things so much easier, and this rebuild is going to turn around like boom. I mean, we did it after Chip Kelly left in 2015. We did it in 2 years. Just imagine what the Eagles could do again. Just imagine what they could do. It's going to be exciting. Other than that, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us. Peace out, guys.